it is I, Smriti. Today is Mother's Day, so I'm here with my mother. We are going to talk about some very interesting things today, but before that, Mama, why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay. So number one, I am the mother of this daughter of mine, Smriti.
Hello.
And about myself, so apart from being a mother, I'm also an HR professional and a master coach. And doing everything else that I do.
Yes. She's also a great cook and is super mental. But the reason why
Have to match energies, right?
Correct. Who is like who, no one knows. Anyway, the reason why she's here today on this reading channel is because I started reading very young, and one of the people who helped me in this process was the son here, because she was just awesome. And I have said in my bios that some people were born with silver spoons. I was born with books because they bought me more books than toys. So that was cool and a fun fact, and it's also true. So basically, in this video, what we're going to do, basically 3 things. So if you're interested in those things, I will put the timestamps below, and then you can just follow and go to that part, whichever interests you. So one is to kind of talk about how to get kids to start reading. So that's one that mom can help you with. The second one is how to start reading again as an adult, which I have helped mom with. So that was fun role reversal that happened there. And then the third is mom's book recommendations, which she can give to parents who want their kids to start reading, and also to like people who want to know more about coaching or HR and stuff like that. So yeah.
Goody!
What fun!
Yeah!
Oh, okay. So, Mamam, do you want to tell the viewers what are things that they can do to kind of help their kids start reading?
So I think there are few things that you could do. Number one, catch them young. Get into the practice of reading to your kids, even though they may not know the alphabet or know the language, but read to them as early as you possibly can.
Yeah, like so when I was young, my mom would read to me, and it was called Suno time, because Suno in Hindi is listen. So she would take a book up and then she would say Suno, and then I would just take a book and be like Suno. So that was just my it was good fun.
Yeah, and apart from that, I think make it fun for the child. Allow them to read and appreciate books which are fun. And the other thing that you would, because I think the kids learn from what they see their parents do. So make it a practice of reading yourself, because then they would understand that that's a good habit to follow.
Yeah. So mom didn't read so much, but my dad was a voracious reader. He was just like fly through books, and he was the prime example for me. So like if there wasn't like my mom, she does read. It's not like she doesn't, but like dad and I were the main just read.
It used to be like a competition of sorts.
Yeah.
And who would get more books out of the library and who would finish which book faster. So yeah, it used to be a good thing.
And another thing that I would like to add is that what was super fun for me as a child was also we would read together. So we would also buddy read. So when I started to learn how to read myself, so my mom would get the odd pages and I would read the even pages and stuff like that. So we would sit at bedtime and just do that, and it was a good fun activity. Because we would put our voices in it and just try to make it fun, and it was just a nice fun together time. So yeah, alright, and now we are at part 2. So part 2 is now as adults. As I said, mom's not the most voracious reader. She is a reader, as I've said multiple times now, but I now influence her to read. So basically, mom, do you want to tell them what I have been helping you with?
Yeah, I think I think it was just infectious, because we have so many books at home, and then I see all her videos and her reviews, and the passion with which she talks about the different books. So it kind of got me excited. And what I started doing is when I had to restart my reading habit, is to read books which were not too heavy, not too big. So maybe about 200-300 pages book, which were kind of easy to get by. A couple of tips that I've taken from her is that there's a brilliant app that she has, which is called Bookly, which allows you to record the number of pages that you've read, the time that you've taken to read a particular book, and it also helps you to set a goal for when you would want to finish reading that book.
Yeah, and I have spoken about that in another video, which I will link above here.
And I think the third tip that I've taken from her is about the bookmarks. So Smriti has the 2 bookmark method. I have modified it further to a third bookmark method.
Yeah.
So where you are at what your current read is, and then you put a shorter bookmark for say about next 20 pages that you want to read, and then I put a third bookmark to maybe the end of chapter that you may want to read. So it kind of just pushes you to say that yes, you've accomplished the first milestone, and how about you getting to the next one. So that's got me into a good space.
Yeah, because essentially the whole idea of the bookmark method for me was that small goals kind of motivate me. So just putting that small goal and achieving it, so you feel happy, and that adrenaline pump kind of comes in at that point of time. So then you feel more motivated to kind of continue your journey. So that's basically what it is. Another thing which I would recommend, though some people may not like it, is try out audiobooks. I think audiobooks is definitely a way to also get into the whole habit of reading. I, for one, can't do just audiobooks because I don't know, I feel like I need to read something as well. So I also have the book in front of me and I also listen to it. So sometimes it just goes by faster. And yeah, as mom said, start small, short stories maybe, if that's something that you want to start with, because there are many great anthologies out there. And yeah, just demarcate some time also to reading. So like,
make it a practice. I think that's the key. So carve out a particular time in the day when you want to do this.
Yeah.
It could be any particular time of the day, say about half an hour at least. Bedtime is a good time for you to kind of switch off all other electronic mediums and then just pick up a plain simple book and it's pleasure.
Yeah, so that's also like right before reading, even 15 minutes is good, and then you can start increasing it with as time goes by, and it'll become a habit. So it'll be a good place to start.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, and now we are at part 3. So part 3 is when gives you some book recommendations. So we'll divide this into again 2 parts. One is for kids who want, mothers who want to introduce books to kids. What would be a good place to start? So mom, do you have anything?
Yeah, I guess for children, I have liked our Indian fables a lot. So there is Panchatantra, there is Aesop fables, which is not particularly Indian, but yes. And then there are Karadi tales, and I remember we've got good times with Karadi tales because not only did it have the book, which was very well illustrated, it used to also get a audio cassette or now a CD, which is available with the books.
Right.
And the best part of those Karadi tales were that they were narrated by some amazing voiceovers.
Actors.
Yeah,
like Nasiruddin Shah.
You had Girish Karnad, you had Said Jafri, and so many other brilliant storytellers who would read out the stories to the kids. So it was a lovely episode. And in fact, more than Smriti, I think I enjoyed listening to those stories. So it was really, really great fun. Also, why I say all these books and not the typical fairy tales, because I felt the fairy tales are pretty morbid. They always have this horrible ending, or they talk about negative things like a horrible stepmother or a witch or a poison, or and always kind of treated the girl or the the main female lead to be
damsel in distress.
Yeah, to be the one who would always be rescued by the other. So I somehow didn't find those very motivating for a young child to read. So these are some of the recommendations which are fun.
Cool. And mom, do you have any coaching or HR related recommendations?
Yes,
Yes.
I have a coaching as a concept itself is brilliant, and I will not give you a very long list, but just a very basic books that you could read. Uh, so, three very basic books for coaching would be by Sir John Whitmore, who is really the father of coaching. His book by the name of Coaching for Performance. Then, one of the most illustrated coaches currently, which is Marshall Goldsmith, and his bestseller book, which is What Brought You Here Won't Get You There. I think that's amazing. Then there is Timothy Gallwey, who actually started the process of coaching, and he was originally a sports coach. So, which is why I get this question asked a lot: that are you a sports coach or are you a executive coach? And he has this amazing series of books on inner games. So it's an inner game series, inner game of tennis, inner game of golf, which very well explains what coaching is all about. So I will not go beyond this. So 3 books are good. There are many more, but we can do this at a later space.
Yeah. So, thank you, Mame, for joining me and finally doing this video. This will come out not on Mother's Day because my mother is a very busy person and refused to shoot with me. So, So, every day is Mother's Day.
Yes.
So, remember that. And have fun and stay tuned. And thanks.
See you guys. Thanks for having me here, and love you.
Love you.
Bye bye.